Hello everyone, and thank you for watching. This is the first video in a two-part series where I go out to find and photograph one of my favorite birds in the summer months, the Louisiana Waterthrush. This is an interesting bird that lives along cold water brooks and is a good indicator species to the overall health of the stream. These birds forage on macroinvertebrates that are found within the stream, and many of their favorite prey are the insects that are only found in water that is clean and free of pollutants. I have a few favorite spots where I know these birds can be found, and I've had success photographing them in the past, so I headed out to find and photograph them. It ended up taking me 2 days to get any images of them, but that is part of the adventure, and I was able to find a few other species along the way, including some amazing encounters with some families of common mergansers with their young that moved up and down the brook. In this part 1 video, I go through my steps in finding the birds and how I set myself up to get the footage I'm looking for.
Well, good morning everybody. Thanks for joining me today. I am out in this beautiful morning, and my goal today is to photograph the Louisiana Waterthrush. And I'm down along this beautiful bend in the brook, and I hear one calling down on the brook. This is actually the same spot that I photographed one last year, and this year I have a different plan, a different setup, and now I just need to kind of figure out a way to get down along the banks, get low on the banks, and then I can kind of talk more about my setup and what I'm planning on doing. But it's really nice that I'm here and I already hear it calling. It's such an important first step to find it, and hopefully we'll be able to get some good footage of it today. So let's get down there and get set up. I heard it calling down along this section here, and I'm trying to see if I can find it, because part of my plan today is to set up right along the section where it's usually foraging, and this will be a good indication. If I can see it, I'll know where it is and hopefully not spook it as I'm setting up. But I don't see it at the moment, and it stopped singing, so that could mean that it's just foraging, or it could mean that it's kind of farther up the brook. But let's continue on down.
Louisiana water thrushes prefer sections of stream that have small rocks and boulders within the brooks, and also along the banks. They use these rocks to perch on and forage for insects, and they oftentimes hop from rock to rock in search for insects. The great thing about this brook is the entire length of the stream is perfect habitat for them. But the bad news is that also means the birds can be found anywhere along a large section of the stream. I am headed over to a section where I've had success last year, and my plan is to find a good spot to set up and sit, rather than moving around a lot and trying to find the bird. I want the bird to come to me, and as in the past I have found the bird can be very skittish and oftentimes flees the area quickly if disturbed, and the amazing camouflage of the bird makes it hard to spot. I set myself up almost level with the water to make it so that the background is far away and the foreground also fades away. This makes the bird really stand out in the sometimes busy scene of flowing water. Last year I was shooting down on the bird a little bit, and this year I want to try to get a little bit lower to try to make the bird stand out even more.
Alright, I'm set up, and as I was actually getting into position, the water thrush actually flew over towards me, sat up in a tree, and then flew off. But that's a good indication that this is the location that it likes to forage, and this is a perfect spot. I'm set up pretty much level with the water. Sorry, I was getting distracted by a bird. I'm set up actually kind of high off the ground where I'm sitting, but out in front of me, the stream is actually about a foot or two higher than where I'm sitting. So I'm perfectly level with the rocks. And if it comes back, when it comes back to forage, I should have a perfect opportunity to photograph it with the background really far out in the distance. There's a lot of rocks for it to perch on, and actually there's rocks all the way along the brook here. So there's a really good chance that I'm gonna get some good footage. And I'm in my camouflage because in the past I found that these birds can be really skittish. So I'm just gonna set up and try to be as hidden as possible, really be still, really not move, and hopefully the bird will come right over towards me. So that's the hope. So it's just a beautiful morning.
If you're enjoying this video, really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button and hit that like button. Leave me a comment with any questions or comments you have. I read and reply to all my comments, and I really enjoy hearing from you. And it really does help this channel grow. So thank you in advance.
I don't know if you can hear that or not, but the Louisiana Waterthrush just started calling in front of me, and I think it's up in a tree still, but it's just a matter of time before it comes down and starts foraging. So time to get ready, and hopefully it'll come down. The kingfisher just flew over. This is getting really good. So another part of my plan today is after the Louisiana Waterthrush comes and forages for a little bit, and I kind of have a sense of where it's going to forage, I have my GoPro and my ground pod, and my plan is to set up my GoPro on top of my ground pod, put the ground pod in the water along some of these rocks that it's foraging on, and set it to play. And hopefully I'll be able to get some close-up video of the water thrush foraging. It's going to take a lot of luck, but it would be a really unique shot if it works out. But I kind of want to wait and see, try to get an idea of which rocks the thrush is going to be foraging on. They tend to kind of come back to the same spot once they get comfortable, and I kind of need to wait and see where it's going to be before I set it up. So I'm really hoping it's going to work. I'm not sure, but I have all the stuff to do it, and it's worth a shot. So now I just need to wait. The thrush stopped singing, so it's another waiting game. But this is a perfect spot for it. So it's just patience, and eventually you'll get the shot. Fingers crossed. It's getting closer. The thrush just landed like 20 yards or so down the stream on my side of the bank. And it was just kind of tucked up in the rocks, stayed there for a few seconds, and then just flew down. So it's a really good sign. I don't even think it knew I was here, so I just need to wait and be patient a little bit longer. But this is definitely the area that it usually comes and forages, so that's a good sign. Alright, I've been sitting here for about 3 hours now, waiting for the water thrush, and it has not come. It's come close 3 times, but it's not foraging in this area, it's just kind of flying through. And I've seen it down that way and also back behind me this way. So I'm going to change positions, which is something I really don't want to have to do because it's a perfect spot, but it just doesn't seem to be foraging here. So I want to try to Very quiet, because a kingfisher is right in front of me. Wow. Well, that's the closest I've ever gotten to a kingfisher. Yikes. Wow. The lighting's not so good. It's starting to get pretty bright now with the sun, and it was perching in a branch that was all sun, but wow, that was really close. And that's the second time I've seen the kingfisher. So I'm gonna, I think, head down that way, because that's where the kingfisher went, and that's also where I last saw the Louisiana Waterthrush go. So I'm gonna go that way, try to find a better spot to set up maybe, and maybe we'll have some success down that way. Okay, I just went a little bit downstream, and I was about to set up. I turned around and looked back, and there's a common merganser on the water, and it's just kind of floating around down there. It went behind some grass now, but I'm just set up. I'm really low to the water, as low as I can get, and I'm hoping it's going to come back this way. It was coming this direction, but then it veered off kind of behind some brush, and I can't see it anymore, but I'm hoping it's going to come this way. There's actually a rock right in front of me that has some of its bird poop on it, so they perch up on rocks, and the rock that it seems to be perching on is right in front of me, so I'm hoping it's coming back this direction. The time will tell. I'm just going to be sitting here quietly, and hopefully it's going to come around this corner. We'll see.
This second location is another area where I've had luck in the past with the water thrush. And this section is a really nice area because the stream is flatter, the water is smoother, and there is still plenty of rocks along the banks for foraging and perching. I heard the water thrush calling on multiple occasions, but did not have any luck with it coming down to forage. The mergansers also didn't show either. This section of the brook is just so pretty, and is definitely a spot you could just sit all day. While I didn't have any luck today, I plan to come back to this location again tomorrow. Wildlife photography is all about patience, and today the water thrush just won out.
Okay, my heart is pounding right now. I can't believe that just happened.